Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Look, it's not very often I get a chance to run into people that listen to my channel. Sometimes it's just something random. Other times I'll mention that I'm at a place and people will show up. I'd let out that I was going to be somewhere, and a couple showed up there. They were really sweet. And we had a chance to sit back and they asked me a lot of questions, of course, about the dinar, the dung, gold, silver. Plus, I was able to get a lot of feedback from them as far as how the videos go. They were very informative and very helpful in that area. We did have a conversation that turned out to be really funny. She said when it comes to the Iraqi dinar, she only listens to two people. I'm one, and I'll show you the other person in a minute. She first asked me how long I've been talking about gold and silver. I said, before I had a YouTube channel, I used to have a group called The Hidden Things in Front of Your Eyes, and I was lecturing people way back then. I've been doing it for a long time. And then we got into talking about the Iraqi dinar, which led on to something that she said that was kind of funny. Before we get started, though, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. Right now is a good time to buy the shine. That's right. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, go check out our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you'll get a free half ounce of silver. So this should be entertaining because you definitely have to go in the Wayback Machine. We have to go back a little bit to hear why her comment and question was so funny. So let's make that trip happen. Yes, we're time traveling. We're going back in time. Oh, wait, that's too far. We're a little closer. Oh, yeah, here we go. Right around this time. There we are. Here's where we were talking about. Her and her husband say there's only two people to listen to when it comes to Iraqi dinar. And that is me, Mr. Bando, and Miss April. She said, have you ever heard of them? I said, how long have you been listening to them for? She says, oh, I don't know, like 3 years. I go, you've been listening to them for that long, and you don't know who I am? And she goes, huh? And she goes, oh my God, you're the same Pimpy? And I go, there's only one Pimpy. And she started laughing. I go, yeah, for those you don't know, before I got my own YouTube channel, I used to be a regular on Mr. Brando and Miss April show. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. We used to call in and joke around with one another, give each other crap. It was entertaining. And then as time just went on, we just went our own separate ways. And I was convinced to start my own YouTube channel, and the rest is history. We got to laughing about, she's like, some of you guys' arguments were funny. And she goes, isn't that where the Golden Zombie Nation comes from? And I go, yeah, that's where it is. Because they used to say we're going back to the gold standard. And Mr. Brando used to argue that we weren't going to do that. So it was pretty funny. But anyways, I used to just yell out all the time, you know, Golden Zombie Nation. So it was entertaining. It was a lot of fun. But like I said, you know, time moves on, you just grow apart. I enjoyed calling in. I enjoyed interacting with people. I enjoyed interacting with Mr. Brando. And I enjoyed my conversations with Miss April. Technically, Miss April is the one that really got me into cryptos. Because me and her used to talk a lot about which cryptos we think would be the ones to invest in the future. We used to get sidetracked from time to time, and we would just have nights where we're just joking around and being silly. On more than one occasion, people ever asked me, have you ever thought about calling into Mr. Brando's show or doing an interview with Mr. Brando? I didn't part ways angry. I didn't have any kind of animosity or anything towards him. You know, it's just one of those things. We just went our own separate ways. And so I never would have a problem with it. I think it would be fun, but who knows? Anyways, I went back to some of the older videos that Mr. Brando used to do just to see if I can find any of those fun interactions. You can hear me make some pretty bold predictions. So let's listen to a part of Mr. Brando and Miss April's interview, in which he had a gentleman named Robert come on as a special guest. They had me on the phone, and we had a nice little conversation going. But listen to what I'm saying on the show.
Here's where me and Robert might differ. Okay, so the whole thing that makes cryptocurrency popular is the anonymity, is the fact that there is no regulations and the fees are really minimal. If you start getting in there and you start tinkering with it in any way, shape, or form, it's going to become a turn off to people. That's the problem with it. I do think there's going to be a 2 to 4 year ride on cryptocurrencies.
Oh, yeah, you heard that. Back then, I got to thinking about the way cryptos are created. the way they are being marketed, the way people talk about it, I really thought that there was a bubble that was going to happen. There was nothing, in my opinion, that was supporting the values of any of the cryptocurrencies. Ethereum was the one that caught my attention only because it had so many projects. So there was like a billion use cases for it. And it seems to me like everybody uses Ethereum one way or another. So I was really high on Ethereum back then. And it's still in today. I know in a lot of people's opinions, I don't speak well of cryptocurrencies, but there's a lot of reasons why. But the one cryptocurrency that I think is top notch above everybody else, and yes, I get it, everybody has their own cryptocurrency that they like. I get it. There's no need to go back and forth on which one's the best. We all know it's Ethereum. But I hope you caught that. I said, look, in my opinion, cryptos have about a 2 to 4 year window. And this was back in 2019. I said this. And look where cryptocurrencies are today. This is like 3 years ago.
Anytime you start regulating, people get turned off by it. Look at Facebook. As soon as they started changing their platform, it became a turnoff.
Pimpy, hold on, Pimpy.
But wouldn't you say that that's already happening? Because I'm even a little frustrated because I mine electronium, right?
This is before big changes really started to happen to cryptocurrencies. The one thing that me and Miss April talked about is cryptocurrencies, they have something about them that's alluring. The idea that you might be able to jump into a cryptocurrency early enough that you can become a millionaire off it. That's the one thing that was appealing about it. But there was so much about cryptocurrencies I thought was too good to be true. Once the government starts putting their paws into cryptocurrencies, once they start adding regulations and then over-regulating and then monitoring and controlling it, it was going to be a huge turnoff. Once you have to start paying taxes for it, once they get rid of the total anonymity and there is no longer any privacy, then you would know that crypto's days were numbered because everything that was appealing about cryptocurrencies is no longer there. I knew these types of things would happen. I also knew that the government was not going to allow an alternative currency to compete with the US dollar.
And so I tried to mine the other day, and now they've added this KYC to it, know your customer. And now you have to go through this extra layer of security. So I already feel like, you know, the powers that be are getting involved and making it harder. Because if you look 3 years ago, you can buy what you wanted. The government didn't care. And now everybody's getting involved and they're starting to put all these rules into place.
My response to Miss April in this interview is really blurred because I'm calling in on the phone and there's 3 of us. The audio in there is really kinked just a little bit. What I was saying to her was, see, that's the thing that made Bitcoin appealing. There was no regulations at the time. It was peer-to-peer, total anonymity. You did do whatever you want with your crypto transactions without everybody all being in your business. Now, what she's talking about is you had to do the second authentication and you had to jump through hoops. I remember when I went on Coinbase, you had to send in a picture of your ID front and back, and you had to tag in your phone number in there, and it just gets more and more ridiculous. They tell you it's for your own protection, but really what they want to do is make absolutely, positively, that you are the person that owns and runs this account so that they can monitor your account and know whose account it belongs to. So she was talking about how in the past, cryptos were easier to deal with, but as time went on, they became a pain in the ass to everybody.
You just said it yourself and you proved my point. You're turned off because you have these extra things that you didn't have before getting in your way. And that's what's going to happen. They're just going to ruin it.
Pimpy, hold on. Robert, do you have a rebuttal to that?
I think that what they're going to do is a psychological operation. Cryptocurrency, except Stellar, you know, let's say I buy Bitcoin at $5,000 today and it dumps to $2,800. You know what? I really don't care because I know that the upside, let's just put it that way. I'm not going to give any future prediction numbers, but I know the upside, and it's going to be a lot more than $5,000.
Talk about a good prediction by this guy, Robert. Bitcoin wasn't even around 5,000 at the time. And he's saying that even if Bitcoin dropped down to 2,800, I'm not going to panic because I know that the Bitcoin is going to be worth a whole lot more. Little did he know, huh?
You have people that get in it. It runs up to $10,000. It runs up to $15,000. people stay in it. They don't sell. They don't take their original investment back out, which they should do, which I would do.
Okay, Robert makes a good point. What he was saying about cryptocurrencies, if you're making profits, you might want to take some of that out. So this way, if cryptos crash, you don't lose your ass off. I was saying take out the profits and then take those profits and reinvest it into gold and silver.
So that's why when you start thinking of the dark web and cryptos, I know it doesn't exactly coincide together, okay? But a lot
What
of
are you talking about? Don't go together. Dark web and cryptocurrency?
yeah, it does go together. I mean, it does go together. I mean,
Anyways, I won't keep going on and on with this interview. It was a nice long one. There's a lot of fun information in there. I just thought it was interesting that I said that cryptos had about 2 to 4 years. We are in that window now, and they would crash, and here we are. So I don't want to say that's the end of cryptos, not yet, but definitely, man, they are taking a hammering. And I've been saying this all along. I had a lot of fun back when I used to call in and talk to Miss April and, of course, Brando. But it's funny that the couple brought him up asking me if I knew them. I was like, are you serious? So anyways, there it is, a trip down memory lane with this Golden Zombie Nation. I'm out.